Xavier, who is going to walk us through a career activity.
Mic check. Can y'all hear me? Okay. Can I get a woo pig, please? Can I get a woo pig, please? And one more for good measure. Can I get a woo pig, please? Okay, so for this activity, I'm going to need each and every one of your help, okay? So, does anybody remember the dance, the whoa? Does anybody remember that, okay? So, anytime that I have something that I would like for you to remember, I'm going to say, I think we should whoa. And then I'm going to whoa, and you need to say whoa when I end, okay? Does that sound okay? All right, let's try it out, all right? I think we should. Okay, do we get it? We need to try it again? Let's try it one more time. I think we should. Okay, perfect. So let's talk about career currency. Fantastic. But before I get into career currency, I want to introduce to you who I am, right? So I am the career guide for Fulbright College. Does that sound good to y'all? And my whole mission is to help you now get to next. So next could be grad school, next could be a PhD, next could be getting a job, next could be getting an internship, studying abroad, whatever you might want to do. My job is to help you get to that next level. Does that sound good to everybody? Yeah. I think we should. Okay, there we go. You're paying attention. All right. But I've also got some helpers. I've got career influencers, and so some of them might be in the back there. Avery, if you will, please raise your hand and wave. Avery right there. Yes, indeed. Avery right there, and a number of my other students will be here to make career-related content, right? So we'll make some Instagram Reels, we'll make podcast episodes for you to consume about your career, and so you can learn about that. Does that sound okay? Yeah. Fire. And so if you'd like, you can scan and keep in touch with us with this QR code right here. I'll give you a quick second to scan that because you'll be able to see all of our content that we're going to drop this entire semester. All right? Does that sound good to everybody? Fantastic. Well, I'm going to razor back right along into my presentation for you all, okay? So boom, career currency, what exactly is it? So essentially career currency is the skills, experiences, and networks that increase your employability throughout your career, all right? And so essentially these skills allow you to qualify for more opportunities. So turn to your neighbor and say opportunities. Okay, right? And so the beautiful thing is by understanding your career currency, hopefully through this, you'll understand how to build it and how to use it in exchange for opportunities. Okay, does that sound good? Yeah. I think we should. There we go. All right, so the next thing, these are the career currencies that I'm talking about. These are career-ready skills given by the University of Arkansas. These are 8 skills that are certified by the National Association of Collegiate Educators that say, hey, if you've got these, then you will be really, really set up for the next thing that you're going to do. So just to kind of give you a little context and to kind of help you understand what this is like, think of these skills as muscles, right? So essentially, when you're building muscles, it takes exercise, it takes intentionality, it takes for you to be focused, right? And so these are those 8 skills. So the first would be career and self-development, leadership, professionalism, critical thinking, communication, perspective awareness, technology, and teamwork. And the beautiful thing about these is you've likely already had some experience with that, and that's what you use to ultimately apply to be here at the University of Arkansas and in Fulbright College. Does that make sense to everybody? I think we should. Fantastic, you got it. So these are skills that increase your employability and career growth. But just like with your muscles, you've got to do some exercises. Does that sound good to everybody? Boom. So these are those exercises that you need to be focusing on while you're here at the University of Arkansas. Boom. So when it comes to skill development, you're practicing those in your classes, you're practicing those in your assignments, etc. Then when it comes to your extracurriculars, you might join a sport or a club or an organization where you can continue to develop those career muscles, okay? And then, of course, you might even get some work experience while you're here. You might get a campus job, you might actually get an internship or something of that nature. And again, that's another exercise to help you build those career muscles. All right? And then the last thing, of course, is networking. So networking doesn't just have to be in professional settings. This could be happenstance networking. Maybe you're in a line and you meet a professor that's also getting coffee. Or maybe you go to office hours and you connect with a professor. Maybe you meet somebody that's next to you and you connect with them, and that's also a portion of networking. So again, all of these things are part of those career exercises that ultimately give you those career muscles. Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah. Okay, I think we should. Okay, fantastic. We got the concept. So essentially now, I would love for you to connect with somebody who is next to you and address these questions. Please introduce yourself, of course. Say your name, hometown, and major, and then share one skill, experience, or network you currently have and want to develop while you're here, okay? Let's do that. Good to see you again too. Hopefully they meet a new friend. So hopefully they meet a new friend while they're here. Everyone. All right. Okay, can I get a woo pig real quick? Can I get a woo pig real quick? And can I get one more woo pig, please? Fantastic. So hopefully you made a new friend, and if you didn't, maybe you can continue the conversation while you're here at Open House. But I'm going to razorback right along to my next couple points. So boom, just to kind of summarize what we've learned today, right? Career currency is like, are the things that you can use to essentially increase your employability and career growth, and it's important to actively grow these inside and outside of the classroom. It's not enough for you to just go to class, it's important for you to get engaged and involved. And it's also important for you to understand those career muscles or those skills that you're building while you're here at the University of Arkansas. So if we're thinking again about those skills, those are considered to be career muscles. If we're thinking about the experiences that you do, the networking that you do, that is essentially those career exercises that you're working on that will build those muscles. And then when we've got badges, right? So does anybody know about HogSync? Has anybody used HogSync yet? So likely, once you go to an event and check in, it will be badged, meaning like, hey, this skill of leadership you get from being a part of this program. So ultimately, you will be collecting badges by going to these different programs during a week and throughout the semester. And so if we're using that same analogy, those badges are like those exercise trackers, right? So if you're closing your rings, if you have an iPhone, etc., where it tracks your progress, your steps, etc., that's a way for you to track those career muscles or those career skills, okay? And then lastly, I don't know about y'all, but when I get more muscles, I gotta showcase them, okay? So, essentially, once you've gotten and built some of those muscles, we want to show those off in your resume. We want to show those off in your LinkedIn. And then if you're looking for scholarships or other opportunities, we want to show those off in those applications. Okay? I think we should. Okay. So if you'd like, this is a way for you to start thinking about building and growing your career currency. Does that sound good to everybody? Yes. Fantastic. So, what experiences will you craft to shape your college experience and build your currency? That's just some food for thought. But wait, I've got a little bit of unsolicited advice for you as well. So, boom. There's a wonderful psychologist named John Amici, and he essentially came up with this acronym for success. Somebody say success. Success. Fantastic. I know all of us want to be successful, but I must tell you, success comes with a fee. Ooh. I think we should. All right, so success comes with a fee. And so fee, of course, it might be monetary, but it might be your energy. It might be a little bit more things, right? So for you to pay your fees, what I'm referring to is this acronym. So fee stands for focus, effort, and execution. Okay, I think we should. Fantastic. Remember, fee, you got to pay your fee. So the first thing that you need to do is lock in. Turn to your neighbor and say, lock in. Lock in. You need to make sure that you are all the way focus, because it's going to require 100% of your energy and effort for you to be successful here. Does that make sense to everybody? I think we should. Fantastic. The next thing is effort. Again, we want to give 100%, right? We don't want to try to see how we can get by with 70%, right? Because y'all said that you wanted to be successful, so therefore it requires 100%, right? So what does that look like? That means going to class every day. That means putting in your study hours. That means doing the reading before class, etc., doing the homework, etc., going to your office hours, all of that, right? That's giving the proper effort for you to be successful. I think we should. Fantastic. All right. And then the last E is execution, right? So that's what I'm referring to there is the habits, systems, and structures of how you do the things that you do. It's not always what you do, it's how you do it sometimes, right? So we want to do things the right way so that way we can end in the successful destination that we were trying to achieve. Does that make sense to everybody? So boom, like I said, we need to be going to class, we need to be doing study hours, we need to be seeking out opportunities for us to grow our career muscles, right? We need to be utilizing our resources while we're here at the University of Arkansas. All right? And so that is my unsolicited advice. Again, my name is Xavier Smith, and I am your career guy, okay? I think we should. Fantastic. Thank you guys so much.